Good evening and welcome to the March 4th meeting of the Bartholomew Consolidated School Corporation's Board of Trustees.
Deeper learning is our individualized approach for preparing all learners to succeed in our competitive global economy and democratic society and to tackle the complex issues they will encounter. Vision. BCSC demonstrates a community commitment to deeper learning for one and all.
I'd like to bring up our medalists now. You guys can come on up. We have one absent tonight, but the three gentlemen with us tonight are Raphael Spear, Jared Carroll, Phil, Jared, Sam Russell, and Olivia Morlock. Our boys 200 freestyle relay state team ended up finishing in 8th place, qualifying for the final. They also achieved a time that has earned them All-American consideration. This performance of the team in the state finals earned Columbus North a 17th place finish at the state meet, the highest finish for the boys team in 4 years. The 500 freestyle, Olivia Morlock placed 8th place. She's our first girl from Columbus North in 4 years to medal back at the high school state meet. As well, I'd like to finish congratulating Columbus East again as they continue to push towards this team state. Congratulations, guys.
Wonderful, thank you.
Pretty excited to be able to talk about these guys at any point in time or any of our wrestlers, but you know, at Columbus East, we've been pretty fortunate over the past few years to have some outstanding individuals and classes of kids, but I do think this is the tops. You know, this is probably the best that we've had. There's 10 state finals appearances between these four guys, 8 state medals, you know, 4 state championships, and just can't even begin to count the amount of hours that they've put in. You know, incredibly proud of this group. Jake Shunnigy, Nick South, Jacob Bolte, and Caden Rooks.
A little bit about Richards, and it's hard to get on one slide. We call ourselves Raider Nation. I am very glad to have many of members of our staff here, students presenting tonight to you as well. Richards was named in honor of William Dalbert Richards, who was a lifelong resident of Bartholomew County, and it was a teacher and a principal. So we have his story in most of our commons areas here at Richards to share as well. Our presentation this evening, we have a couple of teachers who will talk to you and students as well, but we're basically talking about developmental assets, and if you need a cheat sheet, they are on the board around the rooms.
Developmental assets are traits, values, and experiences that young people need to be healthy, successful, and to reach their full potential. These building blocks are grounded in research done by Search Institute on child-adolescent development, risk prevention, and resiliency.
Another way we're working to build their assets is through striving to be a Spark champion for every student. A student's spark is what he or she is really passionate about and an activity that unleashes his or her energy and joy. And those are the qualities of being a Spark champion. Affirming their spark, encourage them daily through your classroom and your activities. You're modeling for them. You're providing opportunities for them to excel and also build on their spark. And then running inference, which means trying to make sure that there aren't any stopping blocks between them and their spark and reaching their spark and their full potential.
My spark is engineering. I found my spark when I was 8 years old by helping my papa build with his tools. At school, I feel my spark by going to STEM class. A little bit about me is that I'm a kind person who helps people and likes to build things. I'm a leader. I am a leader, a nice person, and smart. 2 things I like best about myself is that I wrestle and I work hard. I am proud of the fact that I work hard.
We recognize that asset building is an ongoing process, and we're committed to nurturing and strengthening our students by continuing to build assets in order for them to thrive and reach their full potential.
We have a phrase in BCSC that says deeper learning works, and we believe that. We're trying to sort through how that happens and what we can do to go deeper and to find better ways to interact with our students and to help enhance their opportunities to learn and to grow. Tonight we're talking to you a little bit about a block schedule. And folks always struggle with that change. Why change? Everything's going so well. We think we like what we're doing. We don't want to get out of our comfort zone. And so I want to begin a little bit tonight with the why, and then we'll talk about the what and some of the how.
You can see from the graph that we've got 16% of our young folks thriving. I'd like to back up and say this is our data. This comes from the Developmental Assets Profile Survey, and that's exactly what we wanted to do, is build a profile on our students to see how they were doing with the developmental assets. And you can see that 16% of our students are thriving, and another 35%, 34% are doing adequate. So 50% of our students we feel like are okay, but it's the 15% that are challenged, or the 35% that are vulnerable, that we're worried about. We want to move them around the circle. We're not satisfied with just the 50%. 50% is not okay. So we looked at the number of kids who were sad or hopeless for 2 or more weeks. We're looking at data from 15, 17, and 19. We do this every 2 years. This comes out of Larry Perkinson's office. And in 2019, the number of kids who felt sad or hopeless for 2 or more weeks is up. Number of kids who have contemplated suicide is up.
With that information, senior leadership, we took the survey about a year, February I think, last year, and senior leadership at BCSA began to reflect upon that, the other conversations, 5 other conversations going on around the country. It's not just something here, right? And they noticed very clearly that there is a need to develop positive and healthy relationships. School safety, you and I, we all know, there's never been a time in our history when this has been more prevalent and more of an issue.
The block schedule allows for dedicated time for social and emotional development and asset building. So if you look at the slide before this, and we're talking about our advisory, and we're talking about that we've got a committee who's doing work to put together SEL lessons so that we can build those assets in our students, so that we can give them more chances to be well. That's where that comes in.
The only thing I'll share with my colleagues and those of you who are left, our Indiana School Board Association had its first day at the State House, and I had the opportunity to be there as a representative for our corporation. I found it very informative, and came back with a great idea that I've already shared with Dr. Roberts, and I'll have the opportunity to share with our colleagues. But it was very important for all of us as school board members to be certainly attentive to what is going on in the General Assembly. And we had the opportunity to have an example, to have a conversation about one very controversial proposal that for the moment seems to have died. We'll see if it shows up in an amendment in the House. But it is a wonderful opportunity and a very good reminder as to our role and responsibility of paying attention to what is going on in the General Assembly. Our school board meetings for the month of April will be on the 8th and the 22nd. We always start at 6:30, and we will be at Columbus North at that time. So thank you all very much for joining us for this evening, and I'll call this meeting adjourned.